Today, let's do a quick unboxing and a review of this new stainless steel smoker box that I got off Amazon during a Prime Day sale. It was like $9 or $10. There's a bunch of similar ones that you could find on Amazon. They all range from about $10 to $25 for a name. I've had a few in my day. I think they're all pretty much similar. The last one I had was a brand called Mountain Grillers. I bought that back in 2020. It was fine. Over time, though, they get black. They get very corroded. This was cheap enough, so I wanted to get a new one and try it out. So this one does not have any branding. You can see on the back, though, that it's made in China, so you know that this is good stuff. One of the main differences between this one and my older one is this one has vents on the top and side. It does not have any vent holes on the bottom. What I've learned playing with this crap for long enough is airflow is just as important as the wood chips. So the old one that I mentioned that was working well, that had holes on the bottom. This one does not. There are some you could get that just have some holes on the top. Hopefully the air holes on the side are good enough. And here's a look at my old smoker box. Like I mentioned, still works fine, but very corroded at this point. So I'll just be replacing it. So I filled up the new smoker box only about halfway. I mentioned a couple of times that airflow is really critical. If you've ever tried to light a fire with a fireplace or out in the woods, it's not just a matter of stacking a bunch of wood. You need airflow between each piece. So I think it's important to keep some space between the wood. We'll be testing today with Western wood hickory. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to close the lid. Easier said than done. Okay, I closed the lid, and now I'm going to light 2 burners, leave them on high. And I'm going to close the lid, and we'll come back in about 15 minutes. There's a lot of debate over whether you need to remove the grates and put the box on top of a burner, on top of a flavor bar. You really don't have to. You might get up to temperature a little bit quicker, but you don't need to at all. So let me close the lid. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Hopefully then we'll be smoking. It's been about 15 minutes. Let's see what we're working with. See a little bit of smoke coming out. Not really smelling much of anything yet. We're at 500 degrees. Let's see. See, but there's some smoke. It looks like it's mostly grease smoke at this point. I'm smelling a little bit of wood, not much yet. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. Right after I closed the lid, I started to smell more smoke. So let's see what we have here. Okay, there's a little bit of smoke. Probably see the reflection a little bit better than the smoke itself. So what I would do at this point, typically if I'm making steak, trying to smoke meat, my third burner is off. So I would put the meat on this side, use what they call 2-zone cooking, where you cook the meat low and slow on one side where the burner is off. The smoke source is on the other side over the higher heat. I found that this method really works great for steak and chops. What a lot of people do, and I used to do it too, was just try to cook your steak and chops quickly while the smoker box is going. You smell smoke and really don't get much of a taste because you end up cooking over high heat. To get more smoke on your meat, you have to cook it low and slow. The meat needs to be cold and moist, and it'll pick up more smoke. So I'm going to close the lid here and kind of let this cook for about 10 minutes. We'll come back and see if the smoke starts pouring out. It's been about 10 more minutes, and definitely smell it working. Let's see what we have. Okay, yeah, so now there's much heavier smoke, so I'm going to say probably give it about 20 minutes, which is typical of these boxes. See, it's starting to tarnish already. And it's just typical. You'll probably get about a half hour of smoke out of this. As I mentioned before, there's a whole bunch of these different varieties of smoker boxes on Amazon if you wanted to try them. Some people also just use aluminum foil pouches. There's a very old video up on YouTube that I will link in the description. An older gentleman from Atlanta shows how to make a foil pouch. The smoke really pours out of that as well. If you don't want to spend money on this and you want to spend money on aluminum foil instead, that's another option. Anyway, hopefully this was helpful to you. Please remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.